Welcome back to another episode of Keeping Your Real Estate Business on Track, hosted by me, Lindsay Schellhorn. Today, we're unpacking what every military spouse needs to know about VA loans in 2025, going into 2026. Joining us is Lexi Layne, a realtor from Coldwell Banker, who's not only a professional expert in real estate, but also firsthand has experience as a military spouse. Lexi's navigated the housing market in multiple states, understands the challenges of frequent moves, and has built a career around helping families find the right home. Thank you so much for joining us, Lexi.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm so excited to be here and chat with you.
So happy to have you. So not only are you an expert in real estate, you've been in the business for a number of years, but you are also a veteran wife yourself. Your husband is security forces in the Air Force for about 9 years. Mm-hmm. Is that what brought you to Brevard?
So they picked up our base of preference, and that's how we got to move here to Brevard. But yes, military brought us here. We were so excited. We were in Mississippi previously before this. And I'll never forget, we were on our way to Old Navy together, and his sergeant called and said, hey, they picked up your base of preference, and you're going to Florida. Now, my husband is a Florida native. He grew up in Orlando, so it was like coming back home almost, and we were so excited to be close to family, and we got engaged in Cocoa Beach, so it's a very near and dear place to our heart, so we're happy to be home.
Oh, that's awesome. It's like a big full circle moment. Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
You've bought and sold homes during multiple PCS moves. So what's one thing that you wish someone would have told you during your first move?
Gosh, I wish someone would have said, hey, think about buying a home, because our very first station together, we were at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, and we hadn't gotten married yet. We were just, dating and together. But I wish someone would have said, hey, think about this, that it could be a way to set yourself up financially, for a really great future. And at the time, we were just renting off base, which is great. I mean, I think if you need to do that at one point in your life or live on base, I'm all for that. We've done that multiple times where we've just said, okay, we need to just rent for a minute instead of buy something right this second. But I wish we would have started to think about that and to start to build that future for ourselves. So we kind of have a going joke about it now in our house where it's like, we should have bought something when we were in Malmstrom, but we're making up for it now. We're building our real estate portfolio and we are making up for it. So.
Definitely. You had mentioned renting off base. Mm-hmm. Was there like a turning point where you said, I wish right now is what made me decide I wanted to buy a house?
I think we had been there for about a year, and we were so in this mindset of, we don't know where we're going to go next. We don't know how long we're going to be here. And I think sometimes, those factors, it makes it hard to think about buying, because you're going, well, what am I going to do when I move? What's going to happen in 2 years when I'm restationed to my house? You think about those things. But I think if you can make the decision to start that process, buy that, and yes, be flexible during the process, but understand that those things are time, like you can deal with that when the time comes. Like when you get your orders, there's options, there's things that you can do to rent out your house, to have a property manager for it. Maybe it's time to sell those things, but don't let those scare you almost. I think we were so kind of like, well, what do we do when we move? Like that was what kind of held us back. And I wish we would have just started the process earlier and not let those fears be so overwhelming in a sense. You know?
I like when you said options. I think people feel stuck or like they don't have options, but they just need somebody to guide them through and say, hey, you're not stuck. Yep. You can do this, or this.
Yep.
So VA loans can seem very complicated, especially for new military families that don't know how to navigate it. What's the biggest misunderstanding that you've seen around VA loans?
Gosh, I think a couple things come to mind. One is that they're hard, which I don't know where that started.
Who started the rumor?
Yeah, whoever started that rumor, it's not true. And to that, I would say, do your research, but also find a professional that can help guide you step by step, because that makes the process 20 times easier when you have people in your corner. And that's how your process should be, and if it hasn't been like that, I think there's always time to still make it like that. But also I've heard, people I think sometimes have this mindset of, okay, you can't use your VA loan more than once. You can. That is a thing, people. Another rumor we're setting to bed today. That is a thing, that you can reuse your VA loan, and you should. And I wish more people took advantage of that, So.
Yeah, we're here to debunk all the myths for you.
Yeah, all the rumors.
Have you ever had a client that almost walked away from a VA loan?
I've never personally experienced that. Hopefully I don't. Knock on wood somewhere. But I think with that, there's so many benefits to the VA loan. It's like, why not take advantage of it? And I think sometimes a lot of people don't know the benefits and don't know that it's a tool that you can use that can benefit you, in the long run and set your family up for financial success, when you've retired or even just along the way,
So you haven't experienced that side of it. Have you ever experienced on the listing side where people weren't accepting VA loans?
I think, again, a common myth is like, oh, it's a VA loan, it's going to be hard, or it's going to be more tedious, or anything like that. Every loan has, certain qualifications and steps that you have to go through and a process that you have to abide by. But I think there's nothing to be scared of with it, And if anything, I think being military, I think it's, someone's changing their life to move there. Very rarely have I ever seen that, it could happen that orders could change, but a lot of times they're going. That's where they're going. There's no option, So I think if anything, they could be like, sellers could have that mindset of being excited, when they see that it's a VA loan, somebody buying my house. Well, there's going to be more security in that.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So when you talk to other military spouses, what's your process in helping them plan for their next move, especially when the timeline is unpredictable?
Oh, yeah. I think the more you can do on the front end, the better. And I know it sounds crazy to start thinking about those things like 6 months out when you get your orders, but get on the daycare wait list, people. Get on your wait list. But start going, okay, these are the forms I'm maybe going to need to submit, for my loan process. Hey, realistically, how long am I going to be in that area? Like I always ask my clients, like, where are we going in about 2 to 3 years? Like, what's the end goal going to be? Because that could change, your factors a little bit. But the more you can do on the front side and plan and take advantage of those house hunting days that they give, like I think they give 10 house hunting days altogether, use those and go look at the houses and learn the area and see kind of where you want to be and get a feel before you're actually there and you're in it and then you're panicking. So start early on.
Yeah. Be proactive,
Yes.
not reactive.
Yes.
That's something I'm picking up from you from
Yes.
this. If you could give one piece of advice, just one, I know there's tons of things that we
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
tell our military families, but if you could pick one piece of advice for a military spouse who's thinking about buying their first home, what would it be?
I would say just do it, even if you're kind of scared and you're not sure, or whether you're using your VA loan for your first time or your second time, just take the leap and do it, because I think in the long run, you're setting your family and yourself up to build that financial wealth and to build that equity and to build a future life. Like by the time you retire out of the military in 20 years, you could have, 5-7 investment properties, and that's amazing. And it's a tool and a benefit that our military, is allotted with serving our country and giving back to our country. It's like, why wouldn't you just take advantage of that? So just take the leap and do it.
Yes, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And thank you and your husband for your service as well. I always like to end on a little fun note. Usually I'm all about food, so I ask people what restaurant they like. But I'm going to take a little turn on this one, and I'm going to ask you, what Florida getaway spot is your go-to getaway spot for you or for your family?
Gosh, I think one of the funnest things that we've done lately was we went to Eastside Acres Ranch in Port St. Lucie. If you guys haven't been down there, it's a really fun family day, but you get to feed and actually interact with the animals. Like my little 15-month-old was petting goats and playing with the goats and stuff. But my husband and I had so much fun too. And it was like, you could go and do this as a date day, or you could go and you could bring the family there, and it's open. So your kids can be running around screaming and you're not going, oh my gosh, what's going on?
I'm not a local real estate agent.
That's not me. Those are my kids.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you
We
so
appreciate your
much.
wisdom, not only on the real estate side, but also on the consumer side of being a military spouse yourself. So if this is your first time joining us, we hope you took something away from it. Please like, share, subscribe, and send to somebody else that you know that might be able to benefit from this podcast. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.